Hello and welcome to an album a day, day number 242, winding down my album collection in vinyl, getting ready to hit the 45s pretty soon. Looks like one of the ones I anticipated may not be here in time, so I'll have to cut back to albums in the middle of the 45s, plus we have the Rapture of the Deep remix and remaster coming in a beautiful 180 gram reissue. But today we're going back to Christmas, the last couple Christmas albums that I have. Boy, I'll tell you, if you are someone who is nostalgic for the old days of Christmas, I'm talking, early television days, before there was television days, when we only had a few celebrities who knew how to do everything, you got to go back to this artist, especially for something Christmas related. And of course, I'm talking about Bing Crosby. This is Merry Christmas, issued in 1955, and this is a 1980 reissue. I was really hoping that that was autographed because that would have been so fucking cool. It's not. It's part of the album. Kind of weird. I don't know why they would do that, but they did. This is on the MCA label. Originally, the version, I have to check and see if the current version I have of it, of the Jesus Christ Superstar soundtrack, was on that label. So whenever I see that logo, that's the first thing that pops into my head. Pretty sure there's nothing in here because, well, I don't know, if it's a 1980 reissue, there might be something, just a generic white sleeve. But a lot of cool stuff on this one for sure. Again, look at all this. Let's make a tiny font, leave a whole ton of space for what, autographs? No, he's autographed the front already. I don't understand these designs. Anyway, what matters most is the songs. And I'll tell you what, if there were any one artist I would say would be a necessity for someone of my age group, someone older, maybe even the next generation beyond my age group, and I'm in my early 50s, I would have to say Bing Crosby would be that artist. This is the sound that in a lot of ways defines Christmas for me. I mean, there's certain other pieces. Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, of course, different versions of the songs for sure. Blackmore's Night with Winter Carols, absolutely. But honestly, Bing Crosby, as soon as I hear him, I could hear him in the middle of a 152-degree day and I'd be like, it feels like Christmas up in here. So we opened side one with Silent Night, classic. I mean, every version by Bing Crosby you cannot go wrong with. So let's walk in with that premise. So we walk in with, we open side one with Silent Night. This song I'm not familiar with because it's sung in Latin and English, but it's not one that I really know. I'd have to hear it again to see if the melody is familiar. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So Adeste Fidelis, I hope that's close. Then we get White Christmas. And this is like the quintessential Bing Crosby Christmas song for me. Bing Crosby singing White Christmas, absolute holiday magic. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, excellent song. Faith of Our Fathers is a newer song for me. It's not one that I knew very well, but I'd heard it before. Great song though. And then I'll Be Home for Christmas. Excellent way to end side one. I would say that's probably a better one for side two, depending on what kind of note you want to go out on. Hopefully, if you're at a Christmas party, you're having your Christmas Eve dinner with family or whatever, you're going to have this record on, you're going to flip it over, side B ends, you're going to flip it back to side one anyway. So side two opens with something a little more festive. We get Jingle Bells. Then we get Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Which is, I always think of that as a kid's song. I know it's not, but I always think of it as one for some reason. Probably sang it in school. Silver Bells, another, oh man. Much like White Christmas, hearing Bing Crosby sing Silver Bells, chef's kiss, honestly. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Christmas in Killarney, I guess. I don't know that one. I have to hear that again. And then we end with one that I'm not familiar with. It's Merry Christmas in a different language, Malay Kalikamaka. So I'm going to guess Hawaiian, maybe? I don't know. Again, I'd have to hear it. So this is a little bit of a departure from some of the stuff that I'm used to hearing from him, but definitely a lot of classic stuff. And if they bring back his Christmas special on Netflix this year, seriously, watch it, you guys. It is just some excellent holiday stuff. I mean, I think about certain things like the original Frosty the Snowman. Was it like it wasn't a claymation, but it was like, I want to say it was that same sort of stop motion animation. Little things like that. Very nostalgic, very much a part of my childhood with the holidays growing up and all that. But White Christmas. I mean, even now thinking about it, I wish it were snowing outside instead of the sun burning me through my window. The second album from Bing Crosby, I actually got compliments of the mighty Peter Gardell. This one is That Christmas Feeling. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. So the first one I did was a 1955 album with a 1980 reissue. Has that vintage sound. This also has that beautiful vintage sound. Recorded in 1958. And this version was released between 1960 and 1967. That's the most I can identify it, but somewhere in that time frame. And again, thank you very much, Peter. Peter wrote this little note to me because he had asked me what I was looking for, and I said if you have any vintage Christmas albums, I would be very interested in those. I mean, Bing Crosby, there you go. So he wrote June 9th, 2024, so a little over a year ago. Scott, here is some Bing Xmas music for you. Peter. Thank you, Peter. That's a little bit of an inside joke based on David Coverdale. Him saying, here's a song for you. So That Christmas Feeling on Decca Records by Bing Crosby. Nice one. This is some really good stuff too, you guys. I like Decca Records. I don't know what it is about this. It makes me feel like the color scheme of it kind of reminds me of like early television when it just went to color and they're like, look, we have all these colors now. Stereophonic. It's neat to see like when an album's in mono or when it's listed as stereophonic because it just reminds me of how different things were back then. But yeah, so we get this. This is enhanced for stereo. Enhanced for stereo. So obviously a mono recording that was probably duplicated and split. No insert on this one because this is a more vintage copy before they were doing the paper inserts, but really cool to have. This is what looks like tape across the top, but it is not. That is actually just part of the design here, or maybe, yeah, it actually does feel like it's a separate thing underneath of the album cover, though. Instead of being on top of it, it feels like the album is actually thicker than the edging, which is really weird unless it's pressed down, which I know it's a very strange way of doing things. On the back, we get advertisements for some other albums, but I love this picture. I mean, that just reminds me of some vintage Christmas right there. So where are we at? Wow, this is stupid tiny. Look at how tiny the song list is. So this is what I call super, super tiny, actually. So we open with That Christmas Feeling. Of course we do. Our second song is Christmas is a-Comin'. May God bless you. Then we get the Christmas song. That is a wonderful song, which is Merry Christmas to You also. A lot of AKAs on these. We get Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Again, child song, but man, Bing just sings it with gusto. Then we get Christmas Only a Tree. Oh, Is Christmas Only a Tree? I'm sorry, my thumb was covering that up. You're All I Want for Christmas. And then Here Comes Santa Claus. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Then we flip it over to side 2. We get a bit of a medley. We get Christmas carols, Deck the Hall. Actually, just Deck the Hall. Only one hall we're decking this year. Away in a Manger, beautiful song. And then I Saw Three Ships. That's the medley. Then we go to our next song, The First Noel, another beautiful Christmas song. The 12 Days of Christmas, which is kind of gutsy when you're talking about an album. You've only got so much real estate. To do the 12 Days of Christmas, you're willing to take up a lot of that real estate. Oh, Fir Tree Dark. I don't think I know that one. Then we get another medley of Christmas carols. We get Good King Wenceslas. I hope I'm saying that right. I never knew how to pronounce that because every time you hear it sung, it sounds like they're modifying the way it's pronounced to fit the flow of the vocals as opposed to how you would actually say it. So I never know if that's right, although Blackmore's Night did a great version of this. We Three Kings of Orient Are, and then Angels We Have Heard on High. Great medley right there. And then we end the album with I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. That's a great track to end with. I would think so. Silent Night would be a good one. I'll Be Home for Christmas would be a good one. Lots of great ones. The best one I would say would be what is it? Through the Years We'll All Be Together. That one. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I think because that's like that's kind of like everybody saying goodbye at the end of the night. Like you're all going home late on Christmas Eve. You're all tired. Drinks have been drunk. Gifts have been exchanged. Carols have been sung. Everybody's, if you're from an Italian family, everybody's walking home with at least one bag from somebody else. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the, I guess like the Kumbaya or the final toast kind of song. Maybe not the smartest thing to do before you drive home. But yeah, that would probably be like the best one. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I think this is a great choice here, though. I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Christmas will be here before we know it. I hope that you have a great year coming up. I mean, we have plenty to enjoy. We've got Halloween. We've got Thanksgiving if you live in the U.S. Canada's got their own Thanksgiving. Lots of good stuff coming up between now and then. But man, time does seem to be moving fast. So enjoy every day. Take hold. Find something fun. And have a great day, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow as we wind down the last few albums in my vinyl collection. Cheers.